Have you noticed lately how foolish voices often sound certain, while steady wisdom barely whispers softly? We live surrounded by volume masquerading as intelligence, by arrogance cloaked as permanent certainty. People argue loudly not to understand, only to dominate conversations. They rush forward, they repeat slogans, they mistake noise for actual insight. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, if someone stumbles, guide them gently if you can. If guidance fails, bear with them. Protect your inner clarity and peace. That is Stoic sovereignty in action. Tonight we travel through 8 signs of genuine foolishness. We will map how to spot these behaviors, how to avoid becoming that person, and how to navigate stupidity with composure. Stay close until the final insight. It might echo uncomfortably within you and invite expansion. Before we dive, if you love building Stoic calm inside a chaotic world full of shouting opinions, tap subscribe now, leave a comment about the loudest fool you encountered. Join the Stoic Ocean community today. We grow wiser when we reflect out loud together. Treat this entire episode like a mirror for habits. Think not only about noisy strangers, but about subtle impulses inside you. Keep a notebook next to you. Whenever a line makes you whisper, "That might be me," write it down. Awareness without shame creates real breakthroughs. Sign 1. They speak far. More than thinking. There is a reason ancient Stoics treated silence like steel-forged patience. A fool reveals himself not through what he knows, but through what he cannot stop spilling into rooms. You have met the coworker filling every pause available, mistaking constant commentary for unshakable confidence. Questions scare him. Reflection feels like sinking sand beneath his restless feet. Zeno warned us, better to trip with your feet than with tongues. Words become blades inside undisciplined hands. They spray wildly, wounding trust, scarring reputations, eventually cutting back against their owner. Someone who talks more than they listen lives careless with perception itself. They miss whispers between the lines. They disregard silence as empty boredom when silence actually holds dense gravity. The fool speaks to be noticed. The wise speak to truly understand. The Stoic speaks only when silence stops serving truth. Silence is mastery, the breathing room between impulse and response, where truth collects its weight. Observe any meeting. Watch how easily people betray themselves when they rush to fill space. Insecurity stands naked behind their certainty. Fear crouches behind their supposed confidence. They flood air with noise, hoping no one notices their inner vacancy. Wisdom begins precisely inside that discomfort. It begins the moment you admit, maybe I do not know yet. Marcus Aurelius wrote, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. For Stoics, every word functions as a moral act. Speech should serve truth or stay quiet once more. Every sentence becomes a promise, a mirror reflecting your discipline, clarity, self-control. Look at our timeline-addicted era. Everyone has microphones. Few possess purpose. People talk louder just to be seen, not to contribute. Outrage becomes entertainment. Volume becomes currency. Yet the Stoic declines that arena. He values presence over performance theatrics. When crowds demand reaction, he breathes slowly. When others insist on immediate replies, he grants them measured pauses. Silence unsettles insecure people because silence cannot be debated. Picture 2 debaters. One slams fists, voice cracking, veins bulging scarlet. The other listens, answers once, ends conflict gently. Which one carries true control here? Control whispers quietly. Strength rarely shouts. A disciplined tongue is sharper than any insult launched. In this world rewarding instant reactions, restraint becomes rebellion. Do not let noise mislead you. Do not mistake confidence for clarity. Do not confuse speech for strength. Speak only when words add value, not just volume. Wisdom never rushes. It resonates slowly. Silence deliberately chosen still roars louder than frantic speeches. Picture a crowded team meeting today. One person interrupts before questions finish, offering 10 solutions no one requested. Their words spiral over colleagues. The room quietly shuts down listening. That is foolish volume disguised as leadership training. Now imagine the quiet contributor observing, taking notes, speaking once at the end, summarizing everything precisely. Everyone exhales relieved because calm clarity just restored direction. Which teammate earns long-term trust? Which one receives the next promotion? Silence followed by focused speech wins every single time. Practice this tonight. Before you answer any message, any debate, pause for 5 breaths intentionally. Ask yourself honestly, does speaking now add weight or just noise? If it adds nothing, let silence protect your energy instead. Fools spend currency of attention recklessly. Stoics invest it only where returns feel meaningful. Train your tongue to wait behind your mind. Create a silence ritual each morning. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Sit upright gently. Place one hand over your chest. Breathe slowly. Notice urges rising to check messages, to speak, to fill emptiness. Let urges pass. When the timer ends, choose one sentence you truly need to say today. Carry that sentence like a compass. Return to it before every conversation. This builds intentional speaking patterns quickly. As you practice, notice how relationships shift gradually. People start seeking your perspective because it arrives measured, grounded, respectful. That is influence earned through restraint, not volume. Questions to carry for this sign. Where did I interrupt today unnecessarily? What silence did I resist because of discomfort? Whose voice could I amplify instead of dominating? What message genuinely needs my voice? When will I practice 5 breaths before speaking tomorrow? Story moment. Last month, I met a founder who dominated every investor meeting. He answered questions before they finished, flooding slides with improvised tangents. Investors grew silent, not impressed, just exhausted. After one presentation, I asked gently if he had ever timed himself. He realized he spoke for 30 straight minutes without inviting dialogue once. We practiced silent pauses together. He relearned asking questions, listening, letting slide content carry weight quietly. 2 weeks later, funding came through because composure returned. Silence literally changed his company's future. Recognize this sign when meetings morph into monologues. Group chats feature one endless poster. Family dinners feel like debate tournaments. Counter with shared rules like round-robin updates, question-only rounds, or time reflections. Structure invites quieter voices forward and trains louder ones to listen again. Sign 2. They feel offended. Whenever truth surfaces. A fool does not fear lies. He fears truth because it uncovers his fragile ego. Tell him honesty and watch pride erupt to defend its old illusions. He attacks tone, questions motives, even challenges your right to speak. Anything is easier than looking directly into the mirror. Truth keeps raising. Marcus Aurelius reminded, if someone corrects you and reveals your mistake, consider that gift. Wise people view truth as medicine, as love disguised as feedback. Foolish minds crave approval over accuracy, comfort over clarity, flattery over freedom. They build echo chambers filled with people who never challenge them seriously. Entire identities become houses built atop cards of validation. One gust-blowing truth collapses them. Offer honest feedback, and the fool locks up instantly. Eyes cold, defenses raised, anger sharp again. He twists reality until it resembles an attack designed against him personally. The Stoic refuses to waste energy convincing the blind. He lets truth stand alone confidently. Truth requires zero defenders eventually. Seneca told us, no person heals by denying wounds. The fool covers pain with polished pride, hoping nobody notices the crack. The wise face ache directly, clean it carefully, grow stronger afterward. Avoiding truth deepens rot inside character. Facing truth transforms us beyond weakness. For Stoics, truth is medicine, not weaponized ammunition. It can sting initially, yet saves you in time. Speak truth kindly. If they rage, remember they fight reality itself, not your presence. Practice naming truths without attachment. Let reality stand. That discipline keeps your peace intact while others unravel. Try a simple exercise this week. List 3 truths you currently avoid because they sting. Maybe a habit hurting your sleep. Maybe ego blocking an apology owed. Maybe procrastination draining creative dreams slowly. Write each truth on paper gently. Under every line, note how accepting it could help you grow freer. This is not about self-punishment. It is practice in recognizing medicine even when bitter. Share one truth with a trusted friend or mentor. Let them mirror support instead of validation alone. When people correct you out of care, thank them sincerely. That gratitude protects your progress beautifully. Imagine a mentor pulling you aside after a presentation. They point out 3 mistakes kindly. Your ego bristles. You want excuses. Instead, you breathe. Thank them. Ask clarifying questions. Apply the insight next time. Later, the mentor advocates for you because humility impressed more than perfection. That is the compounding interest gained from loving truth. Stoic drill for the sign. Step 1. Notice emotional spikes whenever feedback arrives. Step 2. Label the emotion aloud. I feel defensive. Step 3. Thank the person for trusting you with honesty. Step 4. Ask one question to clarify specifics. Step 5. Decide one adjustment to implement immediately. Repeat until truth feels like medicine instead of insult. Story. One of our community members once shared how feedback saved her business. She released a course, received an email from a customer listing improvements. Her first instinct was anger, but she breathed, scheduled a call, listened kindly, implemented every suggestion. That customer later became her partner, doubling revenue. Honesty opened doors flattery never could. Recognize this sign when teams shut down critique, when friends attack your tone, when families call truth disrespect. Counter by normalizing feedback rituals such as compliment sandwiches, written reflections, or office hours. Systems that honor truth protect everyone. Sign 3. They blame everyone except themselves. Nothing imprisons a person longer than habitual blaming. A fool always has a villain, always a reason, never responsibility. Life must be conspiring against him. Circumstances behave unfairly. Support never arrived. Timing was terrible. Sound familiar already? The Stoics warned, the moment you start blaming others, you hand over your internal power. Epictetus reminded us, it is never what happens, only how you respond that matters. Radical ownership does not mean inventing fault where none exists. It means claiming your response zone. The fool wastes energy wishing fairness. The Stoic accepts reality, then exercises choice within constraints. Responsibility equals freedom, because it is a single domain you truly own. When people fail, they instantly blame weather, resourcing, politics, anything external. Under each excuse lurks fear of facing personal weakness. Hating the world feels easier than repairing yourself. That is why some stay stuck for entire decades. They built prisons, decorated them with beautiful justifications, chose to linger. The Stoic investigates failures like scientists. What did I do? What can I learn here? What will I try differently tomorrow? Curiosity replaces shame. Every mistake becomes raw material, forming future mastery. Seneca said clearly, "Fate leads willing hearts and drags the resisting ones." The fool gets dragged across life, kicking, screaming, blaming each rock. The Stoic walks forward willingly, even through hardship, because he understands, what you accept, you regain control. What you resist starts controlling you. Ownership is liberation. Recognize this sign when meetings feel like performances, when suggestions trigger eye rolls, when you multitask while someone speaks. Counter it by setting learning goals, asking follow-ups, and publicly celebrating moments when you change your mind. Sign 4. They refuse listening or actual learning. Create a nightly ownership ritual tonight. Before sleeping, grab your journal. Ask 3 questions. Where did I choose blame today? Where could I choose responsibility instead? What micro-action restores alignment tomorrow? Write honest answers without drama. Then plan one small corrective action for morning. Maybe sending apologies. Maybe scheduling skill training you postponed. Maybe budgeting money instead of complaining. These micro-acknowledgements shift identity gradually from victimhood into Stoic agency. Visualize 2 entrepreneurs. Both launch products. Both fail first month dramatically. The fool blames algorithm changes, investors, customers, everything else. He gives up, declares the market broken forever. The Stoic studies data quietly, interviews customers, owns mistakes, iterates again. 6 months later, he relaunches successfully because ownership kept him improving steadily. Ownership drill. Whenever you catch yourself blaming, pause immediately. Say internally, "I feel tempted to blame right now." Then finish sentence, "And I choose to reclaim responsibility for my next action instead." Follow through with one constructive step, even if tiny. Story. My friend Leo once blamed traffic for every lateness. One morning, his mentor locked the office door gently, forcing him to wait outside. Leo felt embarrassed, then finally realized blame wasted opportunities. He began leaving home earlier, preparing meetings ahead. Within months, he earned the promotion he kept blaming others for missing. Nothing exposes ignorance faster than arrogance. The fool insists he already knows everything worth knowing. He listens solely to respond, never to understand. Every conversation becomes competition, every correction a personal attack, apparently. He defends mistakes instead of evolving beyond old patterns. Pride locks wisdom outside the door. Seneca noted beautifully, while we teach, we simultaneously learn. The wisest minds stay most open. Intelligence is flexible, able to bend, absorb, adapt quickly. The fool builds walls out of certainty and entitlement. He hears advice, labels it criticism. He hears truth, calls it disrespect. The more guidance you attempt offering, the more he resists bitterly, clinging tightly to being right always. In his worldview, learning equals admitting imperfection. His fragile ego cannot survive such honest confession. Humility is soil where every lesson grows resilient roots. Without humility, truth slides off brains like rain sliding over polished stone. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If someone proves me wrong, I gladly change, for I seek truth, not pride." That is Stoic courage to be corrected gracefully. Wisdom arrives when you adjust quickly after discovering errors. Fools cling tightly to opinions as though identity depends on being right. Stoics hold opinions loosely, knowing truth is discovered, never declared loudly. Modern conceit confuses scrolling with knowledge, attention with insight, opinions with experience. There is huge power inside declaring, "I do not know yet." Those three words open every genuine door toward reality. Fools fear those words, assuming they shrink. The wise embrace them wholeheartedly. Every master once stood as a beginner, refusing to fake certainty. People who cannot listen eventually learn through consequence, and consequence always arrives on schedule. Practice active listening with someone today. Choose a friend, partner, or colleague. Ask them about their current challenge. While they speak, repeat quietly inside, "This moment is not about me." After they finish, reflect back what you heard, then ask if you understood correctly. That simple method builds humility quickly. Schedule deliberate learning time weekly too. Pick one topic you feel weak in currently. Study it like an eager beginner. Say, "I do not know yet, but I will learn intentionally." Every time you utter that phrase, ego softens just a little more. Think about leaders you admire deeply. They ask questions constantly. They say, "Teach me more. Show me how. Walk me through your reasoning, please." That openness invites innovation and loyalty. Make curiosity your default posture too. Carry a small notebook labeled lessons. Whenever someone shares an insight, jot it down. Review entries weekly to reinforce humility. Reflection prompts. Where can I ask one more question before responding? What topic scares me because I might look uninformed? Who can I learn from this week without ego? How often did I admit uncertainty today? Set measurable targets. Story. A designer on our team once avoided learning animation software because ego feared stumbling publicly. After missing deadlines, she finally admitted she needed training. Within weeks of embracing beginner energy, her work quality skyrocketed, and clients noticed the shift. Recognize this sign when you attend events only for photos, when to-do lists stay untouched because you chase spotlights, when restlessness spikes if no one reacts online. Counter it by blocking rehearsal sessions, tracking deep work hours, and celebrating completion privately each night. Sign 5. They chase attention, not improvement. People rarely crave being good anymore. They simply crave appearing impressive publicly. They sprint towards spotlights as though validation could fill the hollowness inside, where self-respect should sit quietly. The fool measures worth by applause, by likes, by whoever watches. Effort focuses on impressing instead of building something enduring. Marcus Aurelius warned, "The approval of others gains nothing." Reputation is a fragile shadow moving with light, never with truth. The Stoic lives aligned to values, finding strength, doing what is right even if nobody ever sees it. The fool only acts when audiences cheer on command. Remove the observers, and motivation disappears instantly like smoke. Attention is addictive because it mimics love momentarily, but love strengthens. Attention eventually drains. Fools shapeshift constantly to please crowds, performing virtue theatrically, even bending truth to keep admiration flowing on schedule. Each performance erodes their soul further. External praise rises fast like smoke, then fades quickly. Every opinion becomes performance art now. Every success becomes an announcement instead of sustained progress. Seneca reminded us, we suffer more from imagination than reality itself. Real growth requires discipline, consistency, silence. The Stoic wakes, asks, what can I improve quietly today? Not, who notices me? When you stop craving recognition suddenly, you become unstoppable. Nobody can manipulate someone uninterested in applause or approval. Criticism no longer shakes your stability. Approval no longer feeds your ego. You stay grounded inside your integrity. That strength cannot be bought, borrowed, or staged convincingly. If you are finding value now, hit subscribe once again midstream. Drop a comment sharing which sign you are actively working to transform. Help Stoic Ocean build a village of thinkers choosing clarity instead of chaos every day. If you struggle with attention chasing, try this practice. Each time you feel the urge to post progress before making progress, pause and ask, what am I really craving now? Usually the craving is acknowledgement, belonging, maybe reassurance. Instead of broadcasting, offer yourself acknowledgement through private celebration. Keep a quiet list of tasks completed each day. Share it with one accountability friend instead of the entire internet. This rewires reward pathways from external applause to internal integrity gradually. When you witness others performing loudly, practice blessing them silently. Say, may they find the peace they seek someday. Then return focus to the work right in front of you. Questions for attention. What metric actually matters to me today? Who benefits when I chase applause? Which habit proves quiet progress right now? Where can I celebrate privately tonight? Story. One musician inside our community stopped posting drafts online. Instead, he shared progress weekly with a tiny mastermind. After 6 months of quiet work, he released an album that sounded alive, not desperate. When press finally called, he responded calmly because validation was already met internally. Recognize this sign when your portfolio holds half-finished projects, when you keep changing aesthetics but not skill, when you refresh analytics more than you rehearse craft. Counter it with quiet practice marathons, mentorship, and metrics centered on depth, not views. Sign 6. They repeat mistakes and call it experience. Fools love proclaiming, I have seen all this before, as though repetition equals wisdom automatically. Living the same mistake twice is not experience. It is stubbornness wearing maturity costumes. A fool does not learn, he merely survives. He crashes into identical walls, blames identical villains, feels identical aches, yet convinces himself he grew wiser. Wisdom measures change, not pain endured. Seneca said it, to err is human, to persist remains foolish. Every failure contains a lesson waiting, but fools refuse to look inside. They wrap mistakes with decorative excuses instead of extracting guidance patiently. Stoics treat mistakes as living mirrors. They study them not to punish, but to understand their own wiring. Every wrong step, when examined courageously, becomes a map toward better paths. People repeat cycles in relationships, jobs, habits, always choosing comfort over clarity, pride over progress. They change scenery, never themselves. They swap partners, bosses, cities, yet meet identical problems everywhere because they keep meeting themselves again. The fool runs in hopeful circles, confusing motion with genuine growth. The Stoic walks in straight lines, reflects, adjusts, continues onward steadily. The universe keeps teaching the same lesson repeatedly until we finally integrate it with humility. Life does not punish, it repeats patiently. What feels like bad luck often signals unfinished learning. Marcus Aurelius reminded, "What stands in the way becomes the way eventually." Mistakes are not detours, they are main roads disguised painfully. Fools turn around after every stumble, refusing to walk through discomfort. To fools, pain proves failure. To Stoics, pain proves training diligently. Experience without reflection equals mere endurance. Learn from it. Adapt thoughtfully. Refine your habits. Each mistake either repeats your past or reshapes your future more wisely. Consider conducting monthly personal retrospectives. Choose a quiet evening at month end. Review calendar entries, journal pages, messages, projects. Highlight recurring frustrations. Ask what pattern kept returning. What belief fueled the loop? What boundary did I ignore repeatedly? Write action steps to break cycles. Maybe setting alarms to stop doom scrolling. Maybe unlearning narratives about scarcity. Maybe scheduling therapy. Then track progress next month again. Reflection plus action turns repetition into curriculum, never punishment. Share your retrospectives with a trusted friend quarterly. Invite them to call out patterns you still miss. Humility shared becomes momentum multiplied. Prompts set. Which lesson repeated twice this month? What discomfort am I avoiding deliberately? Which mentor could advise me here? What resource will I use to improve this pattern? Story. During a Stoic ocean retreat, a participant realized he dated the same personality archetype repeatedly. He mapped each relationship timeline, noticed identical red flags ignored early. With accountability partners, he wrote non-negotiable standards and practiced ending conversations sooner. The next partnership felt healthier because he finally learned the lesson life kept repeating patiently. Recognize this sign when your calendar looks identical each season, when acquaintances joke that you picked the same partners, when journals show copy-pasted frustrations. Counter it with monthly retrospectives, accountability buddies, and written commitments to new behaviors. Sign 7. They confuse confidence with competence. Fools mistake volume for actual strength, certainty for skill, and bravado for grounded understanding. They believe sounding sure equals being correct automatically. The louder they grow, the more convinced they appear outwardly. Confidence alone intoxicates. Stoics warn repeatedly, false confidence is ignorance wearing costumes. Anyone who never doubted themselves has never examined carefully. Epictetus reminded us, you cannot learn what you think you already know. Fools cling tightly to certainty like armor, yet that armor is actually cages. Every time they declare, I know already, they close doors on potential growth. They never question, only assert themselves. They do not seek truth sincerely. They seek validation, applause, ego inflation. That is why fools fall hardest whenever reality demands proof they cannot deliver convincingly. The higher their confidence climbs, the further competence sinks quietly beneath. Our modern world rewards confidence more than competence daily. People speak with absolute conviction regarding topics they barely understand intimately. Stoics know real knowledge makes humans humble, not loud performers. The more deeply you understand something, the more awareness you gain around how much remains unknown still. True confidence whispers because it has nothing to prove. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Receive without arrogance and let go without attachment." Stoics chase truth, not superiority feelings. They prefer being corrected over staying comfortable, always. Fools also confuse ego with identity. Challenge their idea, they feel personally threatened immediately. They defend ignorance like warriors guarding thrones sculpted from sand piles. Confidence without competence remains fragile illusions. It functions until the world asks for verifiable proof. Stoics build quietly, practice endlessly, question constantly. Their confidence is earned rather than performed theatrically. In this noisy world desperate for certainty displays, humility becomes rare strength worth cultivating. Run a confidence inventory this week. Draw 2 columns. In the first, list areas where your confidence feels high. In the second, write specific evidence proving each competency. If evidence feels thin, acknowledge it honestly. Plan training hours, mentorship, practice sessions, whatever builds competence. This keeps confidence aligned with skill. Whenever someone praises you excessively, respond with gratitude and share what you are still learning. It reminds both of you that growth never ends. When you attend meetings now, notice who overstates their certainty, who admits when they need research. Align yourself with the latter example. Say, "Give me time to verify." Return later with data instead of bluster. That single habit earns immense trust. Confidence checklist. What skill am I practicing deliberately this week? Where does my confidence exceed evidence? Who can audit my performance honestly? When will I schedule deliberate practice again? Story. One engineer I coached always sounded certain during reviews, but when production issues emerged, he could not explain root causes. We built a habit where he said, "Give me 20 minutes to verify," then returned with logs, graphs, clear fixes. Within a quarter, his credibility skyrocketed, not because he became louder, but because his confidence finally matched competence. Recognize this sign when your meetings reward volume, when the loudest idea wins automatically, when social feeds equate outrage with courage. Counter it by establishing facilitation rules, rotating speakers, and practicing active listening cues. Sign 8. They believe loud opinions equal strength. Fools assume shouting their thoughts loudly makes those thoughts automatically true. They confuse aggression with confidence, volume with conviction, dominance with power. They argue not to find clarity, but to seize temporary control. Every disagreement turns into battleground theater. Every conversation becomes their personal stage. The louder they yell, the less anyone actually listens. Strength depending on noise is not strength at all. It is insecurity trying to look important through decibels. Seneca warned clearly, "He who angers you conquers you." Fools think reacting fast equals victory, that raising voices means authority granted. Stoics teach self-control is highest form of power. Remaining calm while others lose themselves marks true mastery. Anger burns quickly and leaves ash. Calm endures storms. Look across social media, politics, office gossip lines. People shout past each other daily, mistaking outrage for courageous conviction. Outrage is surrender. It hands your peace to whoever triggers you next. Fools live like puppets of emotions, jerked by every offense or insult. Stoics cut strings, knowing silence unsettles the insecure far more than argument. Marcus Aurelius advised, "The best revenge is being unlike your enemy completely." When the fool screams, Stoics breathe slowly. When the fool demands to be heard, Stoics listen quietly. When the fool seeks to win, Stoics seek understanding and clarity. True strength never needs grand announcements. It glows from composure, restraint, clear perception. People trade dignity for illusions of being right loudly. They yell until hoarse, slam tables, walk away certain they triumphed mightily. But they lost the only thing that actually matters: self-control entirely. Calm is not passive avoidance. Calm is strategy, standing still enough for chaos to reveal itself clearly. Fools react impulsively. Stoics decide deliberately. In this world equating loudness with leadership, composure becomes revolutionary. Be the quiet one, thinking deeply, acting wisely, speaking rarely. Let others burn out inside their noise. You continue growing within your stillness. Storms always make sound, yet mountains endure them without fanfare. Calm truly is the ultimate flex. Practice calm drills before your next difficult conversation. Sit upright quietly, inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 6. Repeat until heartbeat slows noticeably. Then visualize the conversation unfolding. Imagine the other person escalating volume. Picture yourself breathing, choosing questions over reactions, anchoring attention on facts, not tone. When the real moment arrives, your nervous system already experienced calm. That rehearsal becomes your silent armor. Also, audit your information diet weekly. List accounts, shows, rooms that reward outrage. Unfollow generously. Curate voices that reward thoughtful reasoning, slow inquiry, patient debate. Environment either fuels calm or sabotages it constantly. Calm prompts. What triggers my volume spikes usually? How can I slow my breathing in public? Which voices online keep me grounded? Where will I practice silence this weekend? Story. 2 brothers once argued during dinner. One kept raising his voice. The other paused, asked questions, stated boundaries calmly, then excused himself. Hours later, the angry brother texted an apology, admitting the calm response disarmed him. That is the power of refusing to match volume. Case study. Meet Maya, a project manager who wrote describing how these 8 signs once ruled her weeks. On Mondays, she monopolized meetings, talking over teammates. By Tuesday, she grew defensive whenever her director offered edits. Wednesday brought blame because deadlines slipped and she pointed at external vendors. Thursday, she resisted coaching, claiming she already knew every tool. By Friday, she posted more updates than actual progress. Saturday, she repeated identical weekend mistakes, and Sunday she spoke loudly during family dinners, equating volume with authority. She felt exhausted, alienated, stuck. Maya began tracking each sign daily. She practiced silence before meetings, invited feedback, kept responsibility journals, scheduled learning hours, and replaced online performances with quiet craft. Within 6 weeks, her team noticed the shift, trust returned, and opportunities reopened. This story mirrors what happens when we treat the signs as teachers instead of labels. Integration plan. Day 1 focuses on silence discipline. Limit your words before noon. Practice 5 breath pauses before speaking. Note how conversations shift when calm leads first. Day 2 welcomes truth. Request feedback. Listen fully, summarize, choose one adjustment to implement immediately. Day 3 claims ownership. Transform every complaint into the question, what can I do next? Record each pivot. Day 4 magnifies learning. Study a topic you avoid, ask naive questions, document insights. Day 5 reclaims attention. Create something meaningful without posting it. Share only with one accountability partner. Day 6 examines mistakes. Conduct a retro, spot recurring loops, plan experiments. Day 7 aligns confidence with competence. Audit evidence, schedule deliberate practice, seek critique. Day 8 fortifies calm. Limit outrage media. Practice breathing drills. Handle one tough conversation with composure. Repeat this cycle until the signs lose their grip. Reflection prompts. Prompt 1. Where did silence serve me today? Prompt 2. What truth did I welcome? Prompt 3. How did I own outcomes? Prompt 4. What lesson did I seek actively? Prompt 5. When did I choose improvement over attention? Prompt 6. Which pattern did I interrupt? Prompt 7. Where did confidence and competence align? Prompt 8. How did I stay calm amid noise? Write responses nightly. Over time, these lines chart a map of transformation. Visualization practice. Close your eyes. Imagine standing beside an ocean cliff. 8 waves represent each sign tonight. Wave 1 roars with constant chatter. Watch it crash, then see yourself resting silent, letting the wave dissolve quietly. Wave 2 hurls stones labeled pride. Picture yourself catching each stone, setting it down, thanking it for truth revealed. Wave 3 swirls with pointing fingers. Step forward, place your palm on your heart. Say, I choose ownership. Wave 4 rushes with closed doors. Visualize opening windows, light pouring in, curiosity whispering, teach me. Wave 5 flashes camera lights. You turn away, walk into a workshop where craft awaits patiently. Wave 6 loops like a repeating spiral staircase. See yourself stepping off the loop onto a new balcony with clearer options. Wave 7 towers with megaphones. You gently place one hand on your chest, another on your toolbox, choosing competence as foundation. Wave 8 storms with arguments. Picture yourself breathing, anchoring, letting the storm pass while you remain steady rock. Open your eyes, carry that imagery into tomorrow. Coaching questions. Question 1. If silence felt awkward today, what belief insisted you fill space? Question 2. What would happen if truth felt like a friend? Question 3. Where can responsibility restore your momentum this week? Question 4. Whose wisdom can you borrow tomorrow? Question 5. What is one attention habit you will retire? Question 6. Which repeated mistake secretly signals a skill gap? Question 7. How will you measure competence instead of certainty? Question 8. What environment will help you stay calm consistently? Answer aloud. Hearing your voice commit to change matters deeply. Community Challenge. Every month, our Stoic Ocean crew runs an 8-day challenge. Day 1 participants post a silence win, maybe pausing before replying, maybe letting someone finish. Day 2, they share a truth they accepted. Day 3, they list one situation where they reclaimed responsibility. Day 4, they upload photos of books, courses, mentors they sought. Day 5, they document a private win instead of an online brag. Day 6, they write about a pattern broken. Day 7, they compare confidence statements to actual evidence. Day 8, they record a calm moment despite chaos. Share your challenge entries with hashtag StoicOceanCalm. We will highlight submissions during live streams. Affirmations. Say these aloud. I honor silence because it sharpens my words. I welcome truth because it frees my mind. I hold responsibility because it returns my power. I love learning because it keeps me alive. I choose improvement over attention daily. I examine mistakes until they transform into maps. I earn confidence through consistent practice. I embody calm even when storms arrive. Morning routine. Step 1, hydrate, stretch, sit quietly. Step 2, recite the 8 signs slowly. Promise yourself you will meet each one with awareness. Step 3, open your calendar. Mark where silence, truth, ownership, learning, improvement, reflection, competence, calm will appear. Step 4. Send one message expressing gratitude before starting tasks. That practice anchors your ego before the day begins. Evening review. After dusk, dim lights, light a candle, or sit near your window. Scan through memories of the day. For each sign, whisper one victory, one opportunity. Write them down. Thank yourself for showing up better, for noticing, for practicing. Close the ritual by reading a Stoic passage, perhaps from Marcus, Seneca, or Epictetus. Let those words settle into sleep. Midday reset. Set an alarm for midday pause. When it chimes, step away, stand near sunlight, or place palms over your heart. Scan morning hours. Where did signs attempt to creep back? Recommit for afternoon. Send a supportive message to someone else doing this work. Community accountability keeps discipline alive. Weekly check-in. Every Sunday, gather your notes, charts, reflections. Plot your progress on a simple graph, one axis representing days, the other representing how aligned you felt. Celebrate upward trends, learn from dips. Share insights with Stoic Ocean fam so we grow together. Listener stories. Story 1 comes from Ravi, an engineer living in Singapore. He told us he watched this series daily during tram rides. He practiced silence by riding in quiet cars, truth by inviting peer reviews, ownership by cleaning bugs he once ignored. Within 3 months, his team nominated him for an Innovation Award. Story 2 arrives from Lena, a teacher raising 2 kids alone. She realized she blamed students constantly, chased attention through social media, and repeated exhaustion habits weekly. She turned this episode into nightly rituals, lighting a candle, reciting affirmations, journaling responsibility. Her classroom climate shifted, discipline referrals dropped, and she felt peaceful again. Story 3 features Diego, a musician touring Latin America. He used to argue online daily, believing volume proved passion. After practicing our calm drills, he now saves energy for the stage, lets trolls tire themselves out, and says his creativity doubled. Breathing guide. Technique 1. Box breathing. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. Repeat 10 cycles. Technique 2. Extended exhale. Inhale for 4, exhale for 8, repeat until heart rate slows. Technique 3. Alternate nostril. Close right nostril with your thumb. Inhale through left. Switch fingers. Exhale through right. Continue until your mind feels steady. Carry these techniques into meetings, debates, or whenever noise surges unexpectedly. Key reminders. Reminder 1. Silence is not weakness. Reminder 2. Truth is love. Reminder 3. Ownership is liberation. Reminder 4. Learning keeps you alive. Reminder 5. Attention cannot replace integrity. Reminder 6. Reflection prevents repetition. Reminder 7. Competence makes confidence real. Reminder 8. Calm is contagious. Carry these reminders on your phone, mirror, notebook. Resource list. Book 1, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, 2 pages daily. Book 2, Letters from Seneca, focus on the letters about anger. Book 3, Discourses by Epictetus, study responsibility. Podcast Stoic Ocean Weekly, where we unpack listener questions. Community, our Stoic Ocean Discord lounge, with channels for silence practice, truth accountability, calm drills. Use these tools to reinforce everything you heard tonight. Q&A. Question: what if people mock my silence? Answer: stay consistent, results will speak, and your calm will eventually inspire them or distance them. Question: how do I keep truth gentle? Answer: pair honesty with empathy. Focus on behaviors, not identities. Question: what if I fall back into blame? Answer: reset immediately. Own the relapse. Choose a corrective action the same day. Question: how do I find mentors? Answer: start by serving others, offer value, ask thoughtful questions, build reciprocity. Question: how can I practice calm when others yell? Answer: anchor to breath, maintain soft eyes, repeat their words back, slow the tempo. Question: what if I feel tired? Answer: rest is part of mastery. Schedule recovery, extend grace, return refreshed. Keep these answers close whenever doubt whispers. Mantras: whisper this: I choose depth over noise. Whisper this: I choose truth over comfort. Whisper this: I choose ownership over excuses. Whisper this: I choose learning over ego. Whisper this: I choose craft over applause. Whisper this: I choose reflection over repetition. Whisper this: I choose competence over bravado. Whisper this: I choose calm over chaos. Repeat until these sentences settle becomes your default wiring. Closing commitment. Place your hand over your heart. Say, I commit to spotting these signs inside myself first. Say, I commit to responding with calm. Say, I commit to choosing wisdom even when arrogance tempts. Hold that promise for the next 24 hours. Then renew it again tomorrow. Recap. Remember sign 1. Guard your tongue. Remember sign 2. Embrace truth kindly. Remember sign 3. Own your response. Remember sign 4. Stay teachable always. Remember sign 5. Seek integrity, not applause. Remember sign 6. Study your loops. Remember sign 7. Build competence quietly. Remember sign 8. Let calm lead. Carry this recap into the final moments of tonight's episode. Final visualization. Close your eyes one more time. Imagine 8 lanterns arranged in a circle around you. Each lantern glows with a different color representing a sign. One by one, you dim the lantern when you see the behavior appear in life. When sign 1 appears, you dial the volume down, letting the lantern glow softly. When sign 2 appears, you open the lantern door, welcoming light. Continue around the circle until every lantern shines steady, calm, balanced. Hold that image as we close. Closing reminder. When this video ends, sit for 1 minute longer. Listen to your heartbeat. Tell yourself, noise will continue, but I will continue practicing. Tomorrow we repeat the process, stronger, wiser, calmer. Final note. If you ever feel alone practicing, remember thousands of Stoic Ocean listeners are breathing with you right now. Some are journaling, some are whispering mantras, some are navigating tough conversations with fresh calm. Let that collective commitment support you between episodes. Micro action. Before you sleep, set a reminder on your phone that simply says, guard the 8. Tomorrow morning when it chimes, smile and begin again. Send yourself gratitude for staying consistent. Tell yourself, I am building strength slowly, and that is enough tonight. Tomorrow I will return to this practice with fresh breath and renewed focus. Always onward. Conclusion. Foolishness rarely stems from lacking knowledge. It comes from lacking consistent control. Every sign we explored shares one root cause: ego without awareness. Talking too much, fearing truth, blaming others, refusing to learn, chasing attention, repeating mistakes, confusing confidence with competence, mistaking noise for strength. Each is symptomatic of pride steering the mind recklessly. Living stoically means practicing opposites daily. Listen more often. Speak only when necessary value appears. Learn constantly and stay flexible always. Act with unwavering purpose. Remain calm when others lose themselves. You cannot change how foolish people behave externally. You can always choose your response. Their noise becomes tests for your discipline levels. Their chaos becomes training grounds, strengthening your peace reserves. Do not waste life arguing with fools endlessly. Outgrow them gracefully. Let your calm grow louder than their arrogance ever could. Wisdom begins precisely when arrogance ends. If this journey helped you recognize these 8 signs inside others, inside yourself, share which sign feels hardest to tame right now. Leave a comment below for community reflection. Subscribe to Stoic Ocean for weekly deep dives into timeless Stoic practices. Share this video with someone who needs a calm mirror today. Remember always, the world may stay loud forever, but your peace remains your power. Stay calm, stay wise, keep growing steady. Before you go, revisit each sign. Ask yourself gently, where did I show up today with silence? Where did I welcome truth? Where did I own responsibility? Listen deeply, seek improvement, study mistakes, align confidence, protect calm. Circle the sign needing most attention this week. Dedicate daily practice to that single shift until it feels natural. Small, focused repetitions beat scattered intentions. Remember, wisdom is muscle. Train it kindly.